first house that was on this site was built in about 1250. My dad, he inherited this building. It was completely empty. All of this was roofed in. These were rooms, very elegant, well-appointed rooms. By 1957, he'd resolved to abandon the site. He abandoned the 120-acre gardens. And so then nature moved in, and so Lowther Castle became basically a home for jackdaws and bats, herons, great crested newts, and red squirrels. The fact of its dereliction, that's almost been the thing that's inspired us to do what we are now doing to the place. However, the number of visitors that we were getting was way south of where we needed to be to make us self-sustaining, but also to do more conservation work. We had this feeling that we wanted to appeal to families, we wanted to get kids here, and incorporating play in a diffuse sense and as part and parcel of the whole design of the garden. I met Simon Egan of Capco. I asked them to come up with some suggestions of ideas. Well, they just looked at the silhouette of the castle and they looked at those big window openings, and they were entranced by its mystery, and they felt that that would work really well in a lost woodland setting.
It made such an impression on me. It's the sense of the whole thing and the ruinousness of it, and the way the trees are coming up through it, and that will only get more as the vegetation comes back around it.
We feel that this site is so unique that we wanted something that drew its inspiration from both the design of the castle and also the wildness of the gardens.
Probably the biggest inspiration to get us really going was seeing with the flow that Dan Pearson had put together to pull in all these extraordinary different gardens within the Lowther estate. We designed the Lost Castle to be part of that flow, so visitors will simply find themselves walking through this, and it's just another path through the estate.
Freddie Egan, what he designed compared to what was delivered, it was identical.
Although the play area sits away in the woodland, it still feels part of the overall development, so we've got trees growing up through the play area as they have in the castle.
Create that mystical atmosphere. So we're building this picture in people's imagination very early on when they come to the site. And then as they're encouraged to wander around the lost and romantic gardens, and then the big reveal where the children and families come across this wooden structure in the woodland which is consumed by the vegetation and the trees. We really want people to use their imaginations.
We went there in the summer last year when Jim was standing on the walkway coming out of the Lost Castle. You could see it was his favourite place. You could see his real castle, and you could see the castle we built behind him with all the kids playing, and because I think he gets just as much pleasure about watching children and families playing together.
With the launch of the Lost Castle, we've taken visitor numbers from around 40,000 and we're projecting to do 105,000 this year. We're also charging for children now because there's something for them to do here, whereas before we weren't. All of which has multiplied our turnover by about 10 times in the course of 1 year.
Capco have had a huge involvement here so far. The work that they've done has been absolutely outstanding. It's really sort of propelled what people come here to use the castle and gardens for.
All our play areas, they're kind of part of the history of the places that we go to. A lot of time is spent on the design. Nothing's off the shelf, it's all really bespoke. That way we get to capture the real essence of these places, these amazing places we get to go to.
We came up with some figures that we told Jim that I don't think he ever listened to or ever heard, the impact it might have. And there was a wonderful moment at the end of the summer, straight after the school holidays. He said, "Simon, you have given us the commercial confidence to get on with all the other things that we want to do in this place."